The fight that sounded like a suicide mission is a reality. Jake Paul will leapfrog every sensible career step and face the former unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua this December 19 in Miami, with Paul's public decimation to be broadcast live on Netflix. It's a wild pivot from Paul's scrapped exhibition bout with the WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, whose ex-girlfriend has accused him of battery, imprisonment and kidnapping. Paul, 28, still has barely any amateur background and fewer than 70 professional rounds to his name. This is crazy, because this latest gamble isn't a playdate. It's a sanctioned heavyweight bout with actual consequences. This isn't an AI simulation. This is Judgment Day, Paul said in a statement. A professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears, and no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. And he's right. Anthony Joshua is not another retired MMA stepping stone. He's an Olympic gold medalist, a two-time unified heavyweight champion, and he's one of the division's elite punchers. And just quietly, he also fights at around 250 pounds, which is around 50 pounds heavier than what Paul last weighed in at. In fact, the heaviest Paul has ever weighed is just 227 pounds. This was for his November 2024 exhibition bout against the former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. And Paul couldn't put a dent in the 58-year-old Tyson. So what hope does he have against AJ? Jake or anyone can get this work. No mercy. Joshua, 36, said in a statement, "I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face." For AJ, it's perfect business. The last time he fought a boxing novice, he vaporized the muscle-bound MMA monster Francis Ngannou in just 2 rounds. Compared to the Predator's power, Paul is basically a light breeze. Promoter Eddie Hearn has been openly pushing for his man AJ to take a tune-up before another title run, or even better, a final dance with Tyson Fury for a boatload of money. So this risk-free blockbuster streamed globally on Netflix is basically a gourmet tomato can. For Paul, it's actually a smart, if not risky, career move, provided he survives. Even a competitive showing upgrades his cruiserweight credibility overnight, and if he somehow wins, it becomes one of combat sport's greatest upsets, and his world title talk, especially at cruiserweight, would instantly sound less ridiculous. Staying with the big boys, the undisputed champion Oleksandr Usyk has stepped down as the WBO champ, prompting the organization to elevate Britain's Fabio Wardley to full world champion. On October 25 in London, Wardley shocked Joseph Parker, who has since tested positive for cocaine on the day of the fight, with an 11th round stoppage to claim the interim belt and mandatory status. With Usyk now vacating though, his unified dreams are over. And while the former undisputed cruiser and heavyweight king says he'll return in 2026, those plans remain murky at best. And staying in England, even if Conor Benn finally wins a world title, it may never feel as cathartic as his revenge over Chris Eubank Junior. Benn dropped Eubank twice in the final round to secure a dominant unanimous decision victory to perhaps end the long-standing family feud.
Facing my first loss, coming back from adversity, it's things you got to do. As a man, you go through things in life and you don't know why, but you just have to keep fighting. Staying in shape, staying in the gym, turning up when you really don't want to turn up. Facing your own demons every single day. You know, that's the hardest fight, really. You have to live in your head every single day.
Their first meeting 7 months earlier was a hate-marinated slobber knocker that Eubank Jr. edged via a narrow decision. As such, Benn entered the 4th chapter of Britain's most famous family feud, determined not to waste his chance at vengeance.
He has my respect for being one hell of a fighter. Resilient. I genuinely thought I knocked you out in 3 rounds.
No, you didn't.
But I did. And I almost did.
No, you didn't.
But I almost did.
No, you didn't.
And I'm not going to let you go this time, Chris. But I take my hat off to you.
You keep your hat on, my friend, because I don't need... I'm not worried about your respect and what you think about me. Whether you like me, whether you hate me, whether you think I'm an idiot.
I don't like it.
It really doesn't affect me personally.
This all started back in 1990 when Chris Eubank Senior won the WBO middleweight title by beating the then champion Nigel Benn in a firefight for the ages. Their rematch 3 years later drew 60 million UK viewers and ended in a split draw. This latest instalment of the feud revived old tensions via Nigel Benn's claim that Eubank Senior was paid to theatrically appear in their son's first fight, an accusation that almost had the old rivals coming to blows for a third time.
Whoever told Nigel that I was paid whatever sum of money, they lied to you. And in you actually spouting what they've told you makes you a liar.
I think you two should just face off.
Yeah, I don't mind having a face off with him all day long, mate. I'll have it all day long with him. But anyway,
At the ceremonial weigh-in at the iconic York Hall in Bethnal Green, it was Conor Benn who came in as the heavier man, despite again being the welterweight coming up to middle. By comparison, Eubank Junior looked like the cut had taken a much heavier toll, but it wasn't going to stop him getting in the ring. The hatred between the bitter rivals was palpable as they engaged in an intense final face-off, and Chris promised another classic.
The first fight was a Fight of the Year contender. This fight is going to be Fight of the Decade contender.
It could have been, if Eubank was able to summon the energy he had in their first clash. Benn dominated his sluggish opponent for the entire fight before scoring a jab knockdown in the final round, and then another blistering combination dropped Eubank to almost finish the fight.
I genuinely thought that regardless of the issues that I've been dealing with, I would be able to go in there and win. Use my boxing skills, use what you guys saw in that first fight to beat Conor Benn. From that first round, I realized that I was mistaken.
For Conor, this was more than a statement. After 3 decades of family grievance, he finally delivered a Benn victory over a Eubank, and he did it decisively.
It meant a lot to me. You think 3 years in my career, this has been the fight. Family feud, for, it's generational. It's never been done before in history. So to forever have that win means a lot to me, and it will forever be cemented in history.
As for the saga's future, Conor might be shifting the rivalry to someone surprising: his own father.
Getting that WBC world title was the belt my dad won. It was the belt I would love to win. It's my dream. So for me to be one up on my dad with the Eubank Benn rivalry and also win the WBC world title, it'll be some moment for me.
If you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.